There's a
Oh,
button. Okay, now we're live.
now we're
Oh my God.
live.
I am such a noob. Okay, now let me check the YouTube side. Okay.
Okay.
Oh my God, now it's live. I'm such a noob. Okay. Hi everyone who's watching. Chef Kryssie is here with me today. Chef Kryssie
Ah.
Tinsay of Kitchen 1726. And she just saw me epic fail like hard trying to figure out this streaming thing. So we're all good. We're good. We're good
But
now.
we
So I
figured
can
it out. We
stop
figured
this
it out. So we're
other
good.
recording. We did. I was like, I see it on the side. It said go live. And I was like, people are waiting. How come it's not working? Here we go. Okay. It's showtime. Awesome.
Showtime.
So, yeah. So, okay. First of all, thank you so much, Chef, for jumping on here. And really, the main reason why I wanted to share your story and share you is one, I've met you before. We did the videos together and you were super nice and it was super fun. But also number two, I saw that you're having a lot of success now with just like your business, your baked goods and everything that you're cooking for people. You're doing extremely well, as it seems like. And I'd love for you to share your experience. But first, I think, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself?
Hi, I was watching my Chef Kryssie. I run Kitchen 1726. It's basically I make like Filipino inspired like baked goods. I also do like pop-up dinners. Right now, really not a good um, idea to do pop-up dinners, but that was what my main focus was of Kitchen 1726. But right now, the baked goods and meal kits, that's what everybody's kind of um, going crazy for at the moment, and it's insane. It's been a crazy like last couple like 3 weeks really has been like nonstop for me. It's very it, it's a little bit overwhelming, but also like I'm super thankful that I get to at least keep working in this like crazy like moment like right now.
Awesome. And so I remember we talked about it because I wanted you to also show off what you're serving people because all your food looks so good. So do you have stuff right now that you can show us?
I do. I have some stuff actually. These are for deliveries today. So like somebody ordered like a mini ube basket. So this is like the goodie basket. Like if you guys don't really know what ube is, if you're just starting out, it's like a lot of people that are ordering from me. It's really if it's not from people that have known me or have tried my food, it's really a lot of it is curiosity, which is actually good because then they're curious to see what I have, and then they order it and they like it and then they end up ordering more. So it's good for me, it's good for them. But somebody ordered my friend Giselle. I don't know if she's watching. Hi, Giselle. This
Giselle.
is Giselle Victoria. She is I met her actually through one of her friends actually went to my loft when I was doing pop-up dinners. One of
Ooh.
her friends, they went to my loft and they had like a friendsgiving brunch a couple years ago, and she wasn't able to make it, so she found me through Instagram. So a lot of people are actually finding me through Instagram, which is crazy. Like the power of social media right now is like insane. It's a good tool if you know how to take advantage of it. It's a good tool to market your brand, your products, everything. But so yeah, so this is my goodie basket. It's a mini ube goodie basket. So it's like pandesal and some little mini ube butter, some sugar cookies, ube sugar cookies, and crinkles. Like these are like super popular right now. Like I made like 15 dozen last night because
Really?
a lot of people are ordering it, and I don't even make like 1 dozen at a time. I make like big insane batches because like in a week it'll be all gone. Like the batter will be all gone in a week because like every day I have like orders. It's crazy. So this is like the mini basket that I have, and then somebody also ordered like buko pandan butter. So if you guys don't know what buko pandan is, like pandan is like a what do you call it?
It's
It's
like a
like an
leaf.
yeah, it's like a leaf, and
Yeah.
it's aromatic, and like the extract is very bitter, sort of like lemon extract, where it's very strong, so you only need a little bit. So I do coconut jam and butter, and then sweet shredded coconut, and then I mix it in the butter. So this is kind of like what it
Wow.
looks like. So
That
like you
is
could see
so
it.
good. And I've
Yeah.
tried her ube butter before because when I filmed her, she gave me a bunch and I was like running through it. It was so bad because I don't normally eat butter. And so
Yeah.
when you gave me the ube butter, I was just like, oh, like eating it on everything. I gave some to my dad, which was a mistake. He just like eats it out the tub. And I'm like, oh
Yeah.
my God, this is so good. It's like,
Yeah, my niece is 6 years old and she eats the butter like it's ice cream.
yeah, well, because that's what it tastes like, like
Yeah,
it's not
it's
just
really
like,
good.
yeah.
Yeah.
So,
And then I also, oh sorry, one more
oh
thing.
no, go
I
for it.
also
I
have
thought you ran out of goodies.
I also have bibingka, like little
Oh my
bibingkas that
God, that's so
someone had
cute.
ordered from me. So yeah, so this is what it comes in. They're little like muffins, but they're so good. Not like the traditional bibingka that you normally would get, but because I don't cook it over like charcoal or I don't
Hmm.
steam it, I bake it. So it's nice and like fluffy but chewy at the same time. So that's all I have for today because everything else is like delivered.
So you did have orders delivered this morning, right? And do you have more later
I did,
today?
yeah. I did. Yes, and I have more later today and then tomorrow I have a bunch of deliveries. I have to go to Ontario and then Friday I have like 5 deliveries all over Orange County and LA. And then Saturday a little bit and then Sunday I'm gonna try to take the day off. I'm
That's
gonna try to.
good.
I'm gonna try
So,
to and then back again Monday.
oh my gosh. So I know that we talked about this off broadcast, but
Hmm.
I've been seeing your stories and that's the reason why I wanted to talk to you today, but you mentioned that you are extremely busy now after COVID, right?
Yeah.
Compared to before. And would you be able to share a little bit of that to our viewers?
Yes. So I work at a hotel. I'm an executive sous chef at a hotel. So um, they furloughed me 3 weeks ago, actually. Like first week of March is when I was furloughed. And instead of like me being like super depressed about it, because I have this like side hustle that I do, like I was gonna like just promote it, right? And just be like, you know what? Let me just do something productive and make some money off of it because we all have bills to pay. I have student loans, I have, commitments that, I have to keep up with. So I decided to just like go full force on this and like seriously, it's like super busy. Like I don't even want to sound ungrateful or complain that I'm super busy because like a lot of people are not working right now and it's unfortunate. It's a very unfortunate situation. But like in my case, I'm trying to make, ube out of lemons and just be like productive and promote and not only that, and I think also a lot of it also has to do with people not wanting to go out and them wanting to try new things because right now nothing is really, with the exception of like fast food restaurants, nothing is really exciting anymore because we're just in this like kind of scary situation. So I think this thing I feel it's something new, especially with people that have never seen or heard of me before. I think it's just something new. So a lot of it has to do with curiosity and the fact that my products are pretty legit and they're pretty good, that's like icing on the cake. So I'm very, 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 very grateful to everybody that's been supporting me this entire time, and it's just crazy, it's insane, but I'm working like so hard because it's just me. Like I'm the one that does all the grocery shopping, all the prepping, the decorating, the baking, everything. Like it's me. So this is and this has been so much fun. It's so exhausting, honestly, because it's just making people excited and giving them something to look forward to when they order stuff. So like I said, it's just been it's an
That's
insane
true.
moment. Yeah, so I'm just really glad that I get to still keep doing this, and I get to still go out and breathe fresh.
That's good. So I'm wondering, right? Because do you do any sort of marketing? If you're comfortable, are you comfortable with sharing like where these people are finding you?
Yeah, of course. they're just really finding me on Instagram, and it's social media like Facebook, Instagram, word of mouth. So I just, a lot of it is just like people like ordering and then they like it and they share it. So it's just really like a domino effect. So one person shares it on Instagram, even though let's say they only have 100 followers, it's,
Mm-hmm.
and even if like 25% of those 100 followers watch them, it's still dominoing and falling through, and then people are still hearing about it. So it's really just, I don't personally necessarily market myself, but my products are marketing themselves.
Got it.
So I don't know if that makes sense, but like
It does.
it speaks for itself. My product speaks for itself. So because
Yes.
I put out, no preservatives, I don't do preservatives, and everything is fresh. It's made to order. Everything is really made to order. Nothing sits on my counter for more than 3 days.
That's incredible.
Yeah, so people will order from me, and and I'll make it either the night before, the next day, and then it goes to them. So like there's no like I said, nothing sits out like for more than 3 days. Everything has to be fresh, because
Yeah.
that's the only way you can really enjoy anything, is like when it's
Mm-hmm.
nice and fresh. So yeah, I haven't like paid for any marketing. It's just really just people like ordering from me, and just the word of mouth, really. So
Huh.
Instagram has been like an amazing platform, an amazing tool to take advantage of when you
Got
have
it.
happening.
Yeah. And so for anyone out there who's listening, Chef Kryssie just shared that a lot of her traffic of orders coming in are coming in from Instagram and just word of mouth. So you don't really post that often either, right?
I
Like you're
don't.
not like pushing stuff out all the time. Yeah.
No,
So
I'm
that's
not. I'm
really
not
cool.
pushing stuff out. That's what's crazy, is I'm not, like, when I used to do pop-up dinners, I would have to push and push and push because I would need people to purchase tickets, right? So right now I'm posting stuff, but I'm not like, A, I'm a little bit busy, a little too busy to post stuff,
Yeah.
and B, like I said, it's just people really just posting the ones that are marketing for me,
Yeah.
which is amazing, because then it's going. I'm getting a lot of exposure through, or my products at least, they're getting exposure through people just reposting and posting stuff, and then like I said, curiosity is like the best thing that a person could have. It's one of the best traits a person could have, because when you're curious, you want to try stuff, and when you want to try stuff, then you get to discover new things.
Wow. Oh, actually, I just wanted to point out Jen from Flip Family commented. I don't know if you can see, but she
I
said,
can't see.
ah, okay. It's on the, well, I'm just going to let you know. She said, Chrissy's bibinka is so good.
Oh,
And
yay.
then Doug, my boyfriend, he's actually sitting like right there. He said,
Mhm.
I want some of that pandan butter, because he knows he had the ube butter that you had, and it was insane. And so actually, I wanted to also ask you, skipping straight to this question, which is, who are some of the coolest customers that you've had?
Some of the coolest customers. So I have a friend of mine. His name is Cici Asuncion. He owns I forget the name of the agency that he owns, but it's like it's the first transgender agency in LA. And he actually met me, or we met each other when he went to one of my pop-ups back in February a couple of years ago. And then he asked me to make dinner for him and like 10 of his friends, right? And it ended up being a TV show. and I and I ended up being a guest star in his TV show. It's called The People's Queen. That
Mm-hmm.
was shown all throughout the Philippines, through
Mm-hmm.
ABS-CBN. So
Oh,
I didn't know that this was going to be a TV show until like a week or two before the actual event. I had no idea. So that was like the coolest experience ever, because I get to be on TV for like 10 seconds, and I loved it. And it was, I served a bunch of beauty queens and him and, some of his friends. So he was probably one of the coolest like customers I've ever met. And he's, become a friend of mine. So he's a good friend of mine.
that's so cool. I
Yeah.
actually, Well, for anyone who's watching, so you said it's Cici Asuncion?
Yes, yes.
Okay, anyone who's watching, do you guys know who that is? Because I don't, but maybe my parents do. And the reason why I also asked that question is because I stalk you on your Instagram. You post the funniest stuff, and I'm just like, this is a meme account in its own. but one of the accounts, it was at Mother King. And I was like, oh, who's this? The baby's so cute. And then I clicked it. And I guess it's Jokoy's son's mom. So maybe his. Yeah. And so I saw that and I was like, Chef Kryssie is a star. She is famous.
Not famous. I mean, I've never met him. I would love to meet him because I think he's like super hilarious. But her brother and my husband are coworkers. They're actually very good friends.
I see.
That's how I met his family. Like that's how I
got it.
Yeah. So, but I've never met him. Like I'm not gonna push for it because I'm not like that. Like I said, like my products speak for itself. And if it ever finds its way to him, then great. If not, then I'm not. It's like I said, I'm not gonna like force it. If it's gonna happen, it's gonna happen. But they are really cool people. Yeah.
You hear it here now, guys. Chef Kryssie is calling you out, Joko. Oh my gosh, I would freak out. I would freak out if that ever happened. Doug and I were fortunate enough to secure a spot.
Cry if I meet him, just because I'm such a like Netflix episode like at least 5 times. It's funny every time. It's super hilarious. Like every time, it's funnier.
It is, and it's just so relatable. And even the stuff he posts on Instagram, I'm like laughing so hard. But Doug and I were able to watch him at the Irvine Improv when he added 2 more slots, and those sold out as well. So we were able to just get in.
Yeah.
And I have never in my life had that moment where how you drink water and they show it coming out of your nose, kind of thing.
Yeah.
I've never had that experience until I watched the Jokoy live. And I was like, oh my God, I'm so happy. Like, it was literally like this. Like, I drank the water, gulped it, and he said something. And I was like, whatever was left in my mouth came out. And I was like, he's so funny.
He is. He's funny.
Ooh, I'd love to be able to watch him.
It's super relatable. And I feel like, especially to me, because I was born and raised in the Philippines. So I grew up like that. I mean, not necessarily the whole Vicks thing, but that's so true. That is so true. I hate Vicks, but my mom uses it, and not only Vicks, but like I don't know if anybody's ever heard of Tiger Balm, but like that too. Like it's funny. It's hilarious. So I love it. Like this guy is like super hilarious, and I've been following him since the early 2000s, like with Chelsea Handler when she has the show on E. Like I've been following him since then, and I've always thought he was funny. Yeah, so I've been a big fan of his for a long time. Like I said, I would probably like burst into tears if I ever get a chance to meet him.
You hear that, Joko? I'm gonna repost this and I'm gonna tag him and then have him order cookies. Have him order cookies for you.
Yeah.
Oh man. So actually, now that you mentioned that, I wanted people to also hear a little bit more about your background. And I remember when you first met, you said that you had immigrated here from the Philippines as well. And so
I did.
Would you be able to share like when you immigrated, what that journey was for you, what that was like for you, and what led you to being a chef?
Yeah. So I was born and raised in the Philippines. It's from a small town called Iloilo City, which is in the Visayas region. So like it's like in the of the country. I understand it. I can read and write. I can actually speak it, but it's just my accent because I speak Ilonggo, which is a different dialect. Like my Tagalog is just like stupid, insane, crazy, like accent, whatever. But yeah, so I was born and raised in the Philippines. I moved here when I was 15, back in 2000. Actually, my 20-year mark is actually coming up in June. So June.
Oh,
is it June or July? I think it's June. So will mark my 20th year of living in the United States. Um,
Wow.
yeah, so I'm 35 now.
Oh my
Wait,
gosh.
yeah, I'm 35 now. So that's insane. Like I'll be 36 in
2020.
December. Yeah, so I've been living in the States for 20 years. So longer than I've been living in the Philippines, but
Yeah.
um so I was born and raised there. I moved here, and the first couple of years is really tough, and I think that people that have, that were 15 and move here, it's a culture shock for a lot of people. And I went to an all girls Catholic school, and then coming over here I go to a school where there's boys. So that was a
Oh.
little bit weird too, because it's like, well, what am I supposed to do? Am I supposed to talk to them? I'm like, whatever. And I didn't speak for like probably the rest of the school year. Like I didn't know how to talk to people.
Uh-huh.
So people thought that I couldn't speak because like I never talked. Like I didn't have any friends. Like I spent most of my junior year in my history teacher's classroom because he was my sixth period class, and that was the last class before going home. So after lunch or lunchtime, I would spend it in his room. So I would just stay there because I didn't have any friends. I didn't know anybody. Like I didn't know how to talk to people. So I was very lonely. I was so alone. And for a couple of years, like I was so depressed because, I didn't know anybody. I didn't drive. Like I didn't know the culture. I didn't understand it. So it was very depressing. It was a very depressing time. And then, slowly, like I started coming out of my shell, mainly because I got a job. The next year, when I was 16, my dad got me a job at a bowling alley. I
Hmm.
was I was doing like the parties for the kids.
Yeah.
So I was doing the parties for them. So I got a job there, and I also had another job as a cashier. It used to be called Long's Drugstore, but doesn't exist anymore. I think there's only one Long's Drugs like in Hawaii,
In
but
Hawaii,
now
they
it's
still
CVS.
have
Yeah,
it.
they still have, right? They still have it.
It's called
So
Longs, but it's owned
yes,
by, I think,
by
CVS.
CVS. Yes, that's
Mm-hmm.
how old I am. Okay, that's how old I am because Long's Drugstore existed when I was in high school. So I used to work there. I was a cashier, and then I was a photo technician, and
Mm-hmm.
then that kind of like slowly made me come out of my shell, and then I started, going out, meeting friends, dating, and then I didn't really know what I wanted to do when I went to college or when I was in college, except for the fact that I knew that I had to go to college because it
Mm.
was what my parents told me to do.
Yep.
So I really had no direction. But I've always loved to cook. I've always, like, ever since I was a kid, I was always cooking. Like I would always go to like my front yard and grab like random leaves and put it on my scrambled eggs and make my sister eat it. Like even if I didn't know that the leaves were edible or not, like I was just like, make
Really?
my sister eat it. Yeah, I've always loved to cook. Like scrambled, I started with like scrambled eggs, and then like Filipinos love canned food, so like
Mm-hmm.
spam,
Mm-hmm.
and then like for some reason I started baking like shortbread cookies. Like no recipe, 10 years old, but and then like Chris told me, because when we started dating, he told me, he's like, why don't you check out culinary schools, because that's when the
Mm.
Food Network started booming
Got
back in
it.
2005. Lucky Network, that's when it started booming. So that's what I did. I checked out the Art Institute, and I went to school
Uh-huh.
and I got my degree in culinary art. The rest is history, and now we're here. And by the way, I don't know, not a lot of people know this, but I started out hating baking. Like I hated baking. Like I did not want to have anything to do with or cookies or cakes, nothing like that. And look where I am now. It's all I do.
That's so funny, right? Because
Yeah.
I agree. I mean, now I'm like hosting that pandesal class this Sunday, but there's
Mm-hmm.
no way. Like, I think 2 years ago, I could not bake anything.
Yeah.
And then
Same
I
here.
left my job. And then I like binge watched Great British Baking Show. And
Yeah.
then I read some books. And then I just started baking. So I actually wanted to ask you, do you have any bread making tips for people, since you used to hate baking, right? Like what was it that I mean, are there some tips that you have that might help somebody who is trying to bake?
You cannot force when you're baking. You just simply cannot force anything. So you just have to give it time. And when you're in a time crunch, do not bake. So you need to give yourself half a day. Dolls, they're just bread, right? But from start to finish, it takes 5 hours to make.
Mm-hmm.
And I know you've made pandesal before, and your pandesal does not take 5 hours to make, right? I
Yeah.
could I
Yeah.
could cut it in half and do shortcuts, but the way I make it, I don't want to do
It's
shortcuts because
big.
I've tried making a shortcut and it just doesn't taste the same. It's just not for me anyway. I'm sure that if other people tasted it, they wouldn't know the difference. But for
Mm-hmm.
me, I can tell the difference, and I just don't want to do a shortcut. So, like I said, time is what you need. That needs to be your best friend. So, if you know how to manage your time, then you could make pandesal and make other stuff too besides pandesal, because then you're not just wasting your 5 minutes waiting for bread to rise, right? So you
Right.
can, while your bread is rising, you can start making your cookies, or do chores or do laundry or whatever. So yeah, so time. Time
Got it.
and good quality ingredients too works. Like, I don't do like I could probably use margarine for my pandesal, but I
Mm,
don't use margarine. I'm not going to
right.
use margarine because, why would I? Butter is king, right? So I use
Right.
butter, and good quality ingredients like eggs. Like, I could easily skip eggs. There's actually eggs in my pandesal. I could
Yeah.
easily skip it, but
Yep.
I don't,
Yep.
because I know that it tastes better with it. So
For sure.
don't skimp on the ingredients. Like, just because you want to like be cheap, if you want to be cheap, then your products are going to taste cheap, right?
Yep.
So, find the best quality ingredients possible that you can, because even if you're just eating it for yourself, like, especially if you're eating it for yourself, at least, if you're going to make it for yourself, make it right, like, and make it and put some love into it. And and I find that if you are in a good mood, and you're not angry, like, you're cooking or you're baking, it comes out better. Because I know that when I'm angry, I don't care. My food comes out like crappy. Like,
Mm.
and that's happened to me plenty of times. When I bake and I'm angry, my bread doesn't rise because why? I use water that's too hot, or I
Uh,
don't put enough yeast, or it comes out too salty because I'll just put whatever salt. So, bake with a clear head, I guess.
yeah. That's true. And it's easy to
Yeah.
miss stuff too if you're emotionally shaken up. Like
Yes.
there's
Yes.
times when I've forgotten like butter. I'm like,
Yes.
oh, I didn't put butter in this. So then it's going to be super dry. And,
Yeah.
but it's funny that you mentioned eggs. So actually in the comments, Jerome Castro, he is my dad, he added a comment saying, please make something with salted egg. And have you ever made, whether it's a baked good or maybe in one of your pop-ups, have you ever utilized salted egg?
I have, yes. I've made it into dressing
Mm.
before,
Ooh.
but I've used only the yolks though, because I like the yolks.
Uh-huh.
So I've made it into dressing before. So it's just the duck yolks or the chicken yolks, the salted egg yolks, um, and then some olive oil, lemon juice, and salt, pepper, and then you can use that into your. You can actually use that for your tomato and egg salad, like the tomato salad that comes with it.
Yes.
Like, you can actually do that.
Like the itlog na maalat, right?
Yeah, yeah,
It's like,
with
oh,
tomatoes and like onions, I think.
yeah.
Yeah,
You could add that,
yeah,
I think. But
yeah.
when I
So
was
I've done
younger,
that
I
before.
did that.
Yeah, I've done that before, but I haven't done it in my baked goods. But I did when I went to the Philippines. I went to a restaurant called Little Flower in um Manila. I forget
Mm-hmm.
what city, but anyway, it's called Little Flower, and they have a bibingka cheesecake. Dude, it was so good. Like,
Oh
and I
my
want to
God.
replicate it. I want to replicate it, but right now I don't have time to do it. But I will eventually. I'll get to it. But
Yes.
so it's a bibingka cheesecake with like salted egg on top, and it sounds disgusting, but like when you
No.
eat it, it was so good. It was so good because it was like sweet and salty, like
Mm-hmm.
the opposing flavors. It was like super interesting, and I loved it so much. I think I ordered twice. I ordered
Oh,
it
that's so good.
2 times because it was so good. So I need to replicate that right now. It's not the time, but I will soon.
Totally. So, um, I actually, when I make bibingka, I do make it with the salted egg, and I get really upset when I don't have salted egg because it just makes it
Really?
so good. Yeah. So if I don't have salted eggs, I put on top American yellow pasteurized cheese, or I don't even know if it's pasteurized, but you know, like those craft,
Yeah, the
those,
craft singles. Yeah.
yes. And I'm like, for me, it's either like fake cheese, like really fake, like not even real cheese, or really, really fancy good cheese. And I've found that that American yellow cheese is really, really good on top of bibingka.
See, I don't put any salted egg. My mom always tells me, she said to put salted egg in it. And I'm like, I don't want to do that because then people that
Mhm.
don't like it, user friendly, right? Because not everybody like
Yes.
don't necessarily care for it. So I have to make it like be. But I guess I could try it.
Hmm.
I don't maybe I'll try it and see where that takes me. Maybe I'll put some of my ube bibinka. Who knows?
Oh my God, it's so good. I'm telling you. But at the same time, I agree with what you say about being user friendly because the bibingka recipe that I make is gluten free. And so I
Hmm.
made it for one of my good friends' birthday. She's gluten free. And I was like, oh, I don't know if she'll like it. But I actually put Eden cheese on top instead of
Hmm.
salted egg because she's not, I mean, she's not Filipino and she's not used to probably salted egg. And so I put it on top and she cannot stop talking about it ever since. She keeps telling me
Really?
to make it. Yeah. So it's really just because it's salty, right? But the fact that it's an egg, I think people are like, what? An
Yeah, yeah. Because
egg?
it's a dessert, and you don't really think of putting salted egg on dessert. I'm okay with
Mm-hmm.
bacon in desserts. I don't know.
Right.
I don't think a lot of people necessarily know that there's even a salted egg
Mm-hmm. That's
if you're
true.
not
I
Filipino. At
am
least if
starting
you're
to
not
see a little
Filipino.
bit. Right, right. I'm seeing a little bit of traction now, like with salt, with cured egg yolks, and like people
Hmm.
making
Hmm.
it with like ice cream and like stuff like that. But it's still got some ways to go. But
Yeah.
I actually wanted to also ask you, what is your tip for aspiring restaurant owners slash chefs who want to start their own business but are afraid of taking the leap? And I do know that like right now it's kind of
A funky
iffy,
time.
but yeah. But what tips would you have?
I mean, a lot of it has to do with really knowing what kind of products you want to put out there and really knowing your concept. Because if you don't have a clear concept, then it will be confusing for not only for yourself but for your customers because then they're gonna be like, what kind of restaurant are you? What do you have? Like, are you Filipino food or are you Mexican food or whatever? So I feel like you need to have a clear concept. I have to be honest, I didn't even have a clear concept myself when I first started. Like when everybody was asking me why I wanted to do my pop-ups and where I wanted to go with it. Um, I just wanted to cook like my concept was just, fusion Filipino food and I just wanted to cook and share the way I see my food should be or the way I cook. I just wanted to share with everybody. That was my thing. It was just a hobby. It was something for me to share with people and it was something to do outside of, my normal work, you know, um thing and something different. So that's what I wanted to do. And then now it's kind of evolved into this like ube business. So now my concept is just like ubifying everything. And I mean, like, don't get me wrong, like I don't have like a restaurant and I don't know that I necessarily want to have a bakery just because I know the amount of work that goes into it. Like this is like for me, I know it's temporary because right now we're kind of in a funky situation and once we get back to normal, I think people are gonna, just sort of I think the Ube thing is gonna probably fizzle out at some point and that's not me being negative, it's just me being realistic because a lot of things will fizzle out after, after the fuzz and the buzz, like everything will just calm down. So like I don't have like it's for me, like owning your own business, it's a lot of work, and having a restaurant is a lot of work. It's very risky. You don't have a lot of time off to yourself. So my I guess my biggest advice is just know your concept and really believe in your products, because if you have second doubts and you have, you're unsure of anything, then I don't know that that's necessarily going to work out, because then how are you going to be proud of your products if you're even unsure of what you're doing, you know what I mean?
Yeah, totally. I'd be sketched out.
So right, yeah, so no one even wants to believe in your product if you don't believe in it yourself, or you're not fully committed 100%. Like, it's a lot of work, it really is. And I don't even own my own business, like restaurant right now, and it's already a lot of work. So be prepared for like days where your feet are swollen, where you're only getting 2 hours of sleep, and you're trying to figure out your budget, your food costs, a lot of that. Like, it's not just about cooking, it's also like knowing how to run a business. That's also, very important. If you don't know how to do your food costs right, if you don't know how to price it out, price everything right, then you know at eventually it's just gonna fall apart, because then you don't have a good handle on things. And that's what personally I'm afraid of. Even though I know I can run a business, that's what I'm afraid of, just because it's just it's just really, really risky, because people will be excited about your stuff the next day, one day, and then the next day they're just gonna it's just very inconsistent. And
Mm-hmm.
for me, it's not something I'd want to like venture out right now. It's scary. And anyway, it's scary times right now. Like, it's not a good
Yeah,
idea to like start anything new. So yeah, I don't know if I'm making any sense, but like I'm just
it
speaking
is.
from like how I feel, like how I feel and how I want to do things. Like I said, like if you have to just back up your products like 100%, and you have to
Mm-hmm.
really like don't half-ass anything. Like,
Mm-hmm.
if you're gonna go for it, like really, really, really go for it, like 100 and then 10%, because that's the only way that you can push through. And if you really believe in your product, like that's the only thing that will like make you want to go through with it.
Yes. It's totally like I have so much respect for chefs and restaurant owners, because I know like what it takes. I mean, at least I see the surface of what it takes to run a business, like a restaurant business, food service business. And like you guys are really passionate, at least about the
Hmm.
food that you're offering. There's a lot of heart that's put into it, because if you don't have that, it's so easy to give up and just let it go. But people like
Exactly.
love your products. I mean, I'm seeing it every day, and I'm just like, when am I like when Doug and I run out of stuff? I'm like, hey Doug,
Hmm.
when are we gonna order from Chef Kryssie, right? Because we're like, gotta have some of that ube butter, gotta have some of that, probably that bibinka that you were talking about earlier. Um, so the other question I actually wanted to ask you is, since you were talking about not taking that risk right now, what is your like big juicy goal? Like, what is it that you're like, oh, this is like what I would love to do?
Like, realistically or not realistically? Because I have a couple.
I want the not realistically.
Not realistically, I want to make $1 million not doing anything. Okay.
Oh, okay. Well, that was a short list.
Yeah, right. So that's my unrealistic goal, but we all know
Uh-huh.
that that's not gonna happen. Um, I mean, I at this point, I actually really do want to have a bakery. Like, I really do want to have my own like legit business and really work for myself.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, like, and I'm speaking like honestly, like I don't have any financial backing from anybody, and that's like probably like the 90% of your business needs to be financials.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you don't have the financials, then you can't, because you know what they always say, you have to have money to make money, right? So if you don't if I mean, I can have all the passion that I want, right? But if I don't have the proper, like, you have to pay for marketing, you have to
Mm-hmm.
pay for your equipment, all this stuff. If I don't have any of that, then what I have is just bread.
Right.
You know what I mean? So
Right.
I would love to, but right now, like, there's no, like, I have no nobody to like say, hey, let's invest in Kryssie, and because we believe that she can, and I know that I can make it work. I know that. I know it's difficult. I don't necessarily, I don't look forward to doing it, but I know that I can do it. I know that I
Right.
can make it work, because I'm pretty good at like costing things out, and like my I know like I know how many dozen of pandesal comes with like one order. Like that's how that's how good I am at like gauging everything, which is
Mm-hmm.
why I keep my food costs not necessarily low, but not high. Like I keep it, at minimum, so that
Yeah.
way I can maximize my profit, because this is what business is. It's also maximizing your profit, right?
Mm-hmm.
Also about profitability. So that's like, eventually I'd want to do that. I'm just not sure when that's gonna happen.
Right.
um, but that's like my goal. And
Got it.
again, just I already have sore feet every day from standing up, and
Yeah.
sore hands from rolling all the pandesal. So if I have my own place, then that's nothing new for me.
Right. So actually, this is like the final question I have, but I think it's also the most important question since you were talking about sore feet, like long day. I remember the last time that we had met up, like you were talking about how serious this was, like, um, and especially right now with the current situation, people are talking a lot about self-care and relaxing and taking care of yourself. So my question to you is, what practices at home do you have to relax after a long day of cooking and baking and whatever it is, other business stuff that you're doing?
I take a nap. I take naps. Like if I'm too tired, I don't care if I know I'm gonna stay up till 5 o'clock in the morning baking, I'm gonna take a nap, because if I'm tired, then I cannot like focus, and then I'll miss stuff, and I'll miscount, and everything's just gonna come out, crappy, and I'm gonna end up doing it all over again. So for me, my self care is really napping. Like we're in quarantine mode right now, so really, what is self care? Like no one knows what that is right now.
Right.
We're all drinking soda at like 9 o'clock in the morning. We're all drinking wine like 24/7. So right now there is no self care. But when it's back to normal, I usually get a massage. Like I kind of splurge on myself as far as like getting massages, because
Hmm.
I get really tense up. So I get massages like every couple of weeks. I get my nails done, I get my hair done. I don't always look like a mess. So I pamper myself, and that's how I self-care. I probably should say I eat healthy and I don't drink soda, but no,
I'm asking you what you do, not what other people are doing.
right. So that's what I do. I get a massage, I take naps, maybe indulge in, an edible or two someday.
Will you
Hey,
be
you know
adding that
what?
to your line?
No, that's not that. No, that's gonna be like wait, no. That's not for everybody. That's just for me. But
Yeah.
so yeah, so that's how I self care. Like I make sure that I also make sure that I have a clear head, because you know I don't bake angry, and I don't know if that's necessarily part of self care, but I don't bake angry. Like people say, don't go to sleep angry. Don't bake angry either.
So I will know if I order something from you and I'm like, hey, this tastes a little off. I
Yeah,
think she was mad.
yeah. This I could taste resentment in this bread. So she had a bad day.
That's true. Because like there's that transfer of energy, like depending on who you're talking to, there's people who believe in that stuff. And I can say the same thing for like food that I make, right? I'm like, oh, this just does not taste as good because I was
Yeah.
not happy when I made
I
this.
didn't used to believe in it. I really didn't used to believe in it. When they say cooking, like you cook with love or whatever, and I used to think it's like super cheesy. Like, this game, and like I've experienced it like firsthand multiple times, where I'm like baking and I'm like pissed off, or I'm cooking something and I'm pissed off, and I'm realizing that I don't care when I'm mad. If it's too salty, screw it, whatever. You know what I mean? Like you just don't
Right.
put the same amount of effort into it, and when you know that it's wrong, you're still gonna present it, just because you don't, at that point, like, you have no, like, you just don't care. So I didn't used to believe in it, but now I'm a firm believer of it, because it's does, like, your energy, just like when you're a leader and you have a nervous energy or you have an angry energy, it transfers to your people, right? So when you're angry or anxious, people around you start to become anxious. So I think that that's
Mm-hmm.
also, like, I think that that's true. So yeah, so that's what I do. Like I said, if I'm
Yeah,
angry, I'll take a nap,
that's
and then
awesome.
I'll wake up with a clear head and I'll be like, okay, cool, let's start baking.
That is great to hear. Well, that is all my questions. I think you gave us so many cool tips today, and it's just like great to even see you, right? Like, I
Yes,
haven't seen
yes.
you since we last filmed each other, or since
Since
I
the
last filmed you.
lockdown.
Yeah,
Yeah,
since the
right.
lockdown. So it's just great to see your face. It's also great to hear that you're doing really well, because a lot of other people are struggling, and I'm glad to see your success, and I hope that other people watch it and get inspired as well. So is there anything else that you want to tell any of our viewers here? And since I will be putting this out too afterwards for people to rewatch, is there a message that you'd like, or even just tell people how to find you?
Yes. So, I mean, my message to everybody is just stay positive. I know it's kind of a crazy, insane time right now, and it's really easy. It's easy to, like, just, wallow and just, be scared. But I mean, like, stop watching the news. I know the news is important, but, like, really, like, news is depressing. We all know what's going on. We already know that, this thing is, like, taking over, whatever. We kind of know how to prevent it. So, like, for me, like, I don't watch news anymore, because it's just gonna make me angry and make me sad. So, just watch, like, show tunes or something. Like, watch something happy. Watch a
Yes.
comedy. Like, take your mind off of it and order
Watch
some
some
ube stuff.
Jokoi. Yeah.
So, watch some Joe Coy,
Watch
and order.
Jokoi, eat ube cookies and ube pandesal
Yeah,
with
order
butter.
some of my stuff, because then it's gonna be something for you to look forward to, something positive. It's purple, it's happy, it's good. So yeah, and don't be productive if you don't want to. Like, it's quarantine time. Like, who cares who cares if
Exactly.
you haven't shaved your legs in 3 weeks, or you haven't done laundry in, a month? Like, you're not going anywhere.
That's me. That's me before quarantine.
Right, right. That's me on a Tuesday.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh my gosh.
quarantine, like, this is just amplifying everything that I've already been
Exactly.
doing.
Same.
Yeah, but I also, one more thing, I also wanted to just say, like, I know that we're, like, in quarantine mode, and I know everyone's scared, but, like, I'm taking, like, every single precaution I could take to make sure that, like, everything that you guys are getting are, is not, like, scary or whatever. Like, I'm taking, the best precaution, like washing my hands all the time. And I
yeah.
don't know if you can see, like, my hands are all, like, dry and cracked
Yeah.
from, like, washing all the time. And I wear gloves needed and any of that stuff. So, and I have, if you guys must know, I have Serve Safe, like, manager certification. So I know, like, food handling, I know all of that stuff. So so I just want to put everyone's mind at ease, because there's always going to be haters out there that are going to talk smack and say, oh, she isn't what she's doing, whatever, or no one knows what they're doing, whatever. But
Mm-hmm.
I do know what I'm doing, and sometimes I may say something stupid, but it's just me saying something stupid. So,
Yeah.
but I really, like, I know what I'm doing. I know what it takes to, like, feed people and feed them properly so they don't get sick. So just want to put it out there, so that way no one has to question, like, if it's safe to eat my products or not, because it's made from
Yes.
home.
Yeah,
That's all.
right. And I mean, I trust you. I've seen you, like, when we were filming, like, your hands are dry. You wash it all the time. You are a chef, like professionally trained chef. That is like that was your job right before all this stuff happened. So you know exactly what is required to have safe food, clean food. And your
Right.
ratings are all great from you know, what you told me, and everybody loves your products and loved your pop-ups. So nothing to worry about here, guys.
No, nothing at all. Nothing at all.
Yeah. So anyway, did I get your handles right?
You did. Yes,
Please?
yes, you did. Thank you. Yes.
Yes, awesome. Okay, well, thank you so much, Chef Kryssie. And this will be
Yeah.
up. I will like reformat it to be put on
Okay.
IGTV as well, so you can put it up there. But thank you
Maybe
so
you
much
could
for your
Facetune my
time.
face.
But I don't know how to do that. I'm sorry. We'll see. I'll see what I can do, but you're fine.
Yes, like 10 pounds slimmer, maybe.
All right, that's too advanced for me. I like barely turned on this broadcast. You saw that.
Yeah, that's true. That is true.
Oh my gosh. Well, anyway, I hope you have a great rest of your day and fulfill those orders. You are such a boss, and maybe take a nap if you need it.
I will. I will. Thank you again for like doing all of this. It's really awesome that you're like helping me like venture out and do streaming things like this, because I don't normally do this. So like I said, I'm a little camera shy. No, I'm just kidding.
Aw, well, I'm glad that you wanted to do it, that you're willing to do it, because other people are like, nope. And I'm just like, but why?
This is so fun. Like, this is so much fun. Why not? Like I said, we're in quarantine mode. Anything goes.
Yeah, exactly. So I appreciate it. Thank you so much, because I know you're busy, and I cannot wait to see all the other orders that you put out. I'm always watching your IG story. I'm always watching.
Yay. I can't wait. And for anybody that wants to like order from me, you can go to my website, eatatkitchen1726.com, or my IG handles. Just send me a message, slide into my DMs. I will always answer it,
Yes.
as long as it involves Ube. So just give me a call or send me a message, and I will let you know like when you guys can get your orders. I am a little backed up right now, but I'm getting a good handle on it. So yeah.
That means it's good. That means your stuff is good. That just shows it. All right. Well,
Yay.
Thanks again, Chef Kryssie. Have a great rest of your day. And again, thank you so much.
Bye.
And I'll talk to you later. Bye.
Okay, bye.
Bye.